Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, man. We're going to be checking out disturbing interviews with serial killers before being executed. Now, this is one of my favorite kind of segments on this channel, is taking a deep dive into some of the scary, surreal stuff that's out there, man. Mysteries, unsolved, what have you. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. If you'd like me to check out some video along these lines, I just prefer it's around the 10 to 15 minute time frame of a video, so that my reaction doesn't span like 40 minutes, you know. So let's go ahead and hop into this one, see what they're saying with the disturbing interviews with serial killers before being executed, man. That is a heavy title. Let's see what's happening.
We're gonna have to cut this interview, Nick.
Let me blow up the screen for you guys here. Here we go.
I'm not going to go into any more detail. I'm leaving. I'm glad. Thanks a lot, society, for railroading my ass.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at...
I remember seeing that movie of that lady, by the way. I don't remember, but that was, man, she had it bad, sad.
Disturbing interviews with serial killers before execution.
Why did you kill those people?
No comments.
For this list, we'll be analyzing the most bizarre and harrowing discussions that were had with famous killers before they died or were supposed to be put to death. If they weren't actually executed, they could still be eligible, as long as they were sentenced to be. Which of these unnerved you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Oscar Ray Bolin. In the mid-1980s, Oscar Ray Bolin killed 3 women throughout the Tampa area. Following his arrest, Bolin's cousin testified against him and implicated him in a 4th homicide. He received 3 death sentences and was executed on January 7th, 2016 at the age of 53. One day before his death, Bolin was interviewed by Tampa's Fox 13.
How are you feeling this morning?
A little numb. I mean, I don't know how you would expect someone to feel. I mean, if they told you tomorrow you're dying, how would you feel?
Bolin appears calm and courteous throughout the interview, even expressing fear and worry about his upcoming execution. He also professes his innocence, something he continuously maintained throughout his imprisonment.
So you're saying you didn't murder these women?
No.
You didn't murder Natalie Hawley?
No.
Stephanie Collins?
No.
Terry Lynn Matthews?
No. I didn't know them. I'd never seen them. Never met them.
Bolin looks and sounds like a nice enough guy, which only makes the darkness underneath seem that much more sinister.
After 28 years of this, it's been in this box for 28 years. It's a release. My punishment's over. They can't hurt me no more.
Richard Ramirez.
Now, what do you guys think the purpose of that is? If you've killed people, it's the day before your execution. Do you just come clean and say, all right, man, I'm done keeping up the act, man. Yes, I killed them. Like, what do you want to know? You're dying tomorrow, man. For a lot of people, I don't think that's a sign of innocence, that you just proclaim your innocence all the way to your death. I think sometimes there's just so much evidence against you that you did it, right? I'm not saying that that gentleman did or didn't. I don't know that case. But I just do think that's an interesting part of psychology, that you claim your innocence all the way to your date of death, even in situations where you clearly did the murders, right? You committed those murders, but some people will just claim innocence to their death. Why do you think that is? What do you think they're hoping to gain from that? Do you think they're hoping for like a last minute appeal and people saying, hey, he must not have done it because he would have confessed by now? I don't know. Like, that's the only way I can possibly think that they think it's going to work out, is if I just keep saying I'm innocent to the end, somebody's going to stop this and then there's going to be an investigation. I don't know.
My punishment's over. They can't hurt me no more.
I just don't see their purpose.
Ramirez.
As far as Satan is concerned, I believe in a malevolent being. His description eludes me, but I have felt powers that are evil.
A notorious serial killer known as the Night Stalker, Ramirez terrorized California with his violent burglaries, assaults, and killings. Ramirez took the lives of at least 15 people and was convicted of 13 homicides, leading to 19 separate death sentences. In 1993, Inside Edition aired an interview with Ramirez, who was then awaiting execution on death row.
They are desires, whereas if I didn't give in to them, I would be crushed by them.
Among other discussion points, He explained his theories on the psychological development of serial killers like himself. Even more chilling, when asked why he killed his victims, Ramirez hides a smile and simply says,
No comments, no comments. I cannot answer that at this time.
Ramirez was still awaiting execution in 2013 when he died of cancer. Carol Cole.
Died of cancer, so maybe a death by cancer, man, is really rough. I've had my own mother suffer through that, and so maybe there was some suffering for him before then that kind of paid back some of what he's done. But man, that's crazy. It's really bad to see a smirk, a smile on his face when asked if he can kind of explain why he did it. Just to see that smile, man, it just it's worse than not having remorse. It's taking joy in what you did to those people. It's worse.
Cancer. Carol Cole. A very prolific serial killer, Carol Cole claimed at least 16 victims throughout his life, although he confessed to killing 35. He was originally sentenced to life in prison in Texas, but was given the death penalty following his extradition to Nevada. 3 days before his execution, Cole granted an interview to Las Vegas's KLAS-TV. While smoking a cigarette, Cole shows complete indifference for his own life, but expresses remorse for his crimes.
Why not fight for your life?
I just don't care to.
Are you sorry?
For the victim?
Yes.
Yes.
In the end, he even claims that he deserves to die for what he did.
Well, it's the ultimate question. It is the question.
For what I did, yes, I think I deserve to die.
Cole is very quiet and reserved, and aside from some brief flashes, doesn't show much emotion. It makes the interview all the more disturbing.
And condemn myself for many years, because I can just imagine what her life might have been like.
Wesley Allen Dodd.
Yeah, I think they expect a lot for the day before you're gonna die, or in his case, I think it was like 3 days before you're gonna die. You know your death date, right? You know when you're gonna die, and for him to have remorse and just say, "Hey, I accept and I deserve what is coming my way. Like, I understand. I did the ultimate act of evil, and I'm going to suffer for it, and I accept that." Like, you can't really get more emotion than that. What is he gonna do? Cry? He's not gonna beg. He's not gonna beg. He knows I deserve this. Maybe some tears, but it looked like, of course, there was stress in his eyes. In my opinion, they were red. They were kind of watery. He's probably been tormented by the things he did. I just don't know what drives people to do those things, man. I don't know. You know, that's rough. That's a different state. Once you've committed murder, that's just a different state that most of us can't even fathom what goes on through their heads.
What her life might have been like.
Wesley Allen Dodd. On January 5th, 1993, Wesley Allen Dodd was executed by hanging, making him the first American criminal to be legally hanged in nearly 30 years.
What
Between
year was
September
that?
and November of 1989, Dodd assaulted and killed 3 young men, leading to his moniker, the Vancouver Child Killer. Dodd's final interview is absolutely bone-chilling. With complete confidence, Dodd states that he would kill again if set free, and that he, quote, liked what he did.
Wow.
Before, and at the time I liked it.
He also claims that his execution would make a great example for future criminals. Throughout his interview, Dodd proves that he was fully self-aware, and a self-aware killer is a very scary thing.
Do you look forward to dying? In a way, yeah. I think it'd be a relief. I don't have to think about all these things anymore. And I know that's the only way I can guarantee I'm not going to hurt anybody else.
Velma Barfield.
So that's scary. He's self-aware. He's conscious of what's going on in his mind. He doesn't want it there, I don't think, right? Because he's saying, "Hey, my death is going to be a relief because I don't have to deal with these thoughts anymore." There's just something wrong in his brain. He's aware there's something wrong in his brain that he can't fix, and the only release from that is death. That's gotta suck, man, because to me that means, you know, he doesn't want his mind to operate the way it does. It does. He takes pleasure in the things that he's done, and there's no way for him to stop it except for death, man.
And I know that's the only way I can guarantee I'm not going to hurt anybody else.
Velma Barfield. The first woman to be lethally injected, Velma Barfield killed 6 people between 1969 and 1978. She was convicted for just one homicide, that of her boyfriend, Roland Stewart Taylor. However, it was enough to ensure a death sentence, and Barfield was executed on November 2, 1984. Her interview with Raleigh's WBTV shows a woman in pain rather than one who causes it. She seemingly attempts to garner sympathy by speaking about her isolation in prison and her years-long battle with drugs.
The last 10 years was just like that. Years of a drug nightmare.
She also credits God for getting her through the trials and tribulations of prison life.
Living in prison every day is a struggle, even at its best. And I know that without him and his strength that has sustained me, I couldn't have made it even thus far.
While Barfield apologizes for her crimes, most of the interview is about her, and it may rub many viewers the wrong way.
Today, if it were possible, I wish that I could take every bit of hurt on myself.
John Wayne Gacy. Known widely as the Killer Clown, John Wayne Gacy claimed at least 33 lives inside his suburban Chicago home.
33.
At the time, Gacy set an American record for the most homicide convictions. In 1992, he spoke with Walter Jacobson of CBS 2 Chicago as part of a television event. In a rather shocking and unnerving turn of events, Gacy played innocent.
If they want to...
One thing we don't get, right, is we get these interviews and we get to watch them and we get to hear this, but think about the interviewer sitting right across the table from somebody like John Wayne Gacy, man. You know what this person's done, man. You know, you've heard the stories, you've seen the pictures by this point, you've heard the confessions, and you're sitting across from this cold-blooded killer with only so many feet of table separating you two. That's got to be quite the feeling for somebody interviewing this man. That's got to be quite, like, I mean, look at this, man. Looking into the eyes of a killer, like, not through a TV screen, not through a monitor.
Rather shocking and unnerving turn of events, Gacy played innocent.
If they want to be convinced or brainwashed into what they believe, then fine, then go ahead and kill me. But vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, because you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
He even claimed that he took a, quote, truth serum, and that proved his innocence.
I've taken 3.5 hours of truth serum. And under sodium amytal, the maximum amount that I could have, it shows that I have no knowledge of the crime whatsoever.
Like Barfield, Gacy also plays the sympathy card, portraying himself as a loving family man.
I've always looked after my children, even now.
Yet sometimes the veneer slips, and Jacobson is quick to notice the scheming man underneath. It's all quite eerie and probably not at all what viewers were expecting. Ted Bundy. On January 23, 1989, Ted Bundy, perhaps the most notorious serial killer in American history, was visited by a psychologist named James Dobson, and it showcases his well-publicized powers of manipulation. Bundy appears clean and well-dressed, offering a friendly next-door neighbor vibe.
What's going through my mind right now is to use the minutes and hours that I have left as fruitfully as possible and see what happens.
He's charismatic, charming, and well-spoken. Not at all what one would expect from a serial killer. Finally, he latches on to Dobson's evangelical beliefs, blaming both the adult film industry and violence in the media for his crimes.
This kind of literature contributed and helped mold and shape the kinds of violent behavior.
It fueled your fantasies, didn't it?
Well, in the beginning, it fuels this kind of thought process.
Biographers and historians argue that this is a prime example of classic Bundy subterfuge. Knowing that, the footage comes across as deeply ominous and foreboding. The term psychopath is often bandied around too often, but in this case, many agree that the term fits.
I couldn't control it anymore, that these barriers that I had learned as a child, that had been instilled in me, were not enough to hold me back with respect to seeking out and harming somebody.
Before we continue...
Interesting, so he's kind of blamed what he did by being in himself manipulated and twisted through the media and things like that, huh? Like, Interesting take there.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the Bundys with Eileen Wuornos. The final interview with Eileen Wuornos is the complete antithesis of Ted Bundy's. Wuornos shot and killed 7 men in a span of 1 year, and while she claimed self-defense, she was found guilty of 6 homicides and sentenced to death. Wuornos' final interview is deeply troubling.
But you're okay now.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything.
She often widens her eyes and yells in a confrontational tone, and even verbally attacks the interviewer Nick Broomfield. She makes bizarre claims like getting tortured by, quote, sonic pressure.
And they were using sonic pressure on my head since 1997.
Sonic pressure.
And every time I was trying to write something, I think they had some kind of eye in the cell, I'm not sure, but every time I started writing something, it went up higher. So I'm thinking that probably had the TV rigged.
She states that dying will be like Star Trek, and that she'll go on to colonize another planet.
I think it's going to be more like Star Trek, beaming me up into a space vehicle, man. Then I move on, recolonize to another planet or whatever. But it's whatever's beyond, I know it's going to be good because I didn't do anything as wrong as they said.
Wuornos' violent past, her abrasive behavior, and her mental state all combine to create some truly uncomfortable viewing. Did you enjoy this video?
Yeah, they've got a movie out on her, and I remember watching that before I ever knew anything about her. And man, that movie's wild. I think the people that she ended up killing were like people who were seeking after like prostitutes and whatnot. What do they call them, like Johns or something? They're out there just trying to look for something, but they would abuse her, and maybe she just saw them as evil people that she had encountered throughout her life that made her life as miserable as it was, because I think she was a victim of abuse and sexual assault and stuff like that. So she was kind of lashing back out on society through these people that fit the mold, I guess, of the ones that hurt her. So it's actually a very, very sad story with her. But at the end of the day, maybe some of it was self-defense. I don't doubt all of it was self-defense, and some of it was just taking out the people who you thought were trash, right? So I don't know. Rough, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know by leaving a like, subscribe. Would appreciate that. Leave me a comment if you think I should react to any other videos like this. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate the support. Catch you on the next one. Peace.